Michael Gerber, the author of the book The E-Myth Revisited: Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It, is known as the world's #1 small business guru. His companies have helped a lot of clients transform their businesses into successful ones. The book is written for everyone who owns a small business or wants to own one. The core problem with small business owners in the US is that they work far more than they should for the return they are getting, and they are doing the wrong work. As a result, most of these companies end up in chaos and fail within 5 years. This book answers the question why this happens and how to fix it. The myth of the entrepreneur. Michael Gerber defines the E-Myth as the myth of the entrepreneur. Its roots are in the romantic belief that small businesses are started by entrepreneurs when in fact they are not. People who start their businesses, hairdressers, graphic artists, plumbers, accountants, etc., were first working for somebody else, doing technical work. Suddenly, stricken with an entrepreneurial seizure, the idea of being your own boss, doing your own thing, they fall victim to the fatal assumption that if you understand the technical work of a business, you understand a business that does the technical work. The author reveals why knowing the technical work of their businesses becomes their greatest single liability. The technician suffering from an entrepreneurial seizure takes the work he loves to do and turns it into a job. Suddenly, the job he knew how to do well became one job he knows how to do, plus a dozen others he doesn't know how to do at all. The entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician. Everybody who goes into business is actually 3 people in one: the entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician. The entrepreneur is the visionary in us, the dreamer. He is innovator, strategist. He lives in the future. The manager is pragmatic, who lives in the past and craves order. Where the entrepreneur sees the opportunity in events, the manager sees the problems. The technician is the doer who lives in the present. According to the author, we all have an entrepreneur, manager, and technician inside us. If they were equally balanced, it would be an incredibly competent individual. Unfortunately, few people who go into business are blessed with such a balance. Instead, the typical small business owner is only 10% entrepreneur, 20% manager, and 70% technician. When the technician is in charge, it can have disastrous consequences for the business. Business phases. Gerber describes the 3 phases of business: infancy, adolescence, and maturity. He explains why it is so important to build a mature company from the start. Businesses are supposed to grow, and with growth comes change. Unfortunately, most businesses are not run according to this principle. Instead, they are operated according to what the owner wants as opposed to what the business needs. What the technician who runs the company wants is not growth or change, but exactly the opposite: a place to go to work. In infancy, the owner and the business are one and the same thing. The owner works hard, puts in more time and energy, but doesn't do the strategic work, the entrepreneurial work. Adolescence begins when the owner decides to get some help and brings their first employee, but still has to be there all the time. Business doesn't explode, the owner does. The growth is not an inevitable result of the first 2 phases. Successful companies don't end up as mature companies. They start out that way. A mature company is founded on a broader perspective, an entrepreneurial perspective. It has a vision. The franchise format. Mr. Gerber introduces the concept of the finance prototype and the concept of working on your business, not in it. It is a system-dependent business, not a people-dependent one. According to statistics, where 80% of all businesses fail in the first 5 years, 75% of all business format franchises succeed, and the reason for it is the franchise prototype. The author doesn't say that people are unimportant. On the contrary, people bring systems to life. What he says is that great businesses are not built by extraordinary people, but by ordinary people doing extraordinary things. In this context, a system, a way of doing things, is absolutely essential in order to compensate for the disparity between the skills your people have and the skills your business needs to produce consistent results. A business needs to do things in a predictable, uniform way, which makes it predictably responsible to customers' needs. Building a small business that works. 6. your marketing strategy. It starts, ends, lives, and dies with your customer. You should visualize your customer, their demographics, their psychographics. After that, you can begin to construct a prototype to satisfy their unconscious needs. According to the author, there are 3 kinds of systems in your business. Hard systems, inanimate, unliving things such as a computer and colors in the office. Soft systems, animate living things or ideas such as selling system. And information systems, those that provide us with information about the interaction between the other 2. It tells you when and why you need to change. The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber is a very helpful and easy read and an entertaining book as well. The author structures the information through a conversation between him and a bakery shop owner, Sarah, struggling with their small business. Many readers can see themselves in Sarah as she evolves from frustrated technician into a successful small business owner. And the lessons that Mr. Gerber teaches Sarah can work for everyone who takes action to implement them. At Read and Grow, we review the books you want to read and present them to you in a short and memorable video. Make this channel part of your daily routine and check our book summaries for timeless principles, new insights, and unwavering motivation.